Hi everyone, I'm Mo and welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to do a quick review on the book Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. So I'm just going to bring the cat right out of the bag and just say I absolutely adore this book. I have wanted to read this book for so many years and I just never got the chance to do it before just because the book wasn't available at the time. Didn't really find it in the library for the reason I wouldn't be able to find it in my regular bookstores. And I guess because of that, it just kind of was something in the back of my mind. But for whatever reason, very recently, I decided to pick this book up, and I actually did a previous video where I have my book hauls for August, and this book was one of them. And I'm so glad I chose to read this one first from that haul. Oh my goodness, this was such a gorgeous novel. So Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Super long title, but it definitely is prevalent to subject matter within the book itself by Benjamin Alire Sanez. And it is just completely gorgeous what Benjamin does in this book. So the basic synopsis and premise of it is that it stars two boys, Aristotle, or Ari, as he likes to call himself, and Dante, and it follows these two boys in their coming-of-age story. They both live in El Paso, Texas in the 80s, and Ari is mainly the character that we see inside his head. So he is the point of view character, and we follow his journey as he learns about life itself, more about family and family connection, and his disillusionment about the world in general, and having a really hard time or a really hard go of it fitting into his high school with his peers, and just coming across just very frustrated to the point of just being angry at the world, and just finding that he really wants to get to the bottom of who he is, reaching that point of self-actualization and reaching that point of authenticity in who he is. And through his coming of age journey, I believe the book starts off when Ari is 15 years old. He meets Dante at, I believe, a swimming pool, and immediately Ari knows that there's something special about Dante, and they just form a really fast friendship, and from there the book just develops. And it just goes through their summers together and how their friendship grows more into an attraction, into romance. And in the backdrop of all of this, it also deals really heavy in familial themes. One of the things that I loved about this book the most was how it portrayed Ari's and Dante's parents. They're so incredibly warm and supportive, and even though with Ari, his father is a very stoic type character, and a lot of his feelings are very close to the vest, and as you read more into the novel, you discover why. His father is a vet, and he's dealing with a lot of post-traumatic stress from what he saw, and because of that, there's a lot that he does not share with his son right away, and you see Ari and his confusion as to why his father seems so standoffish, but then there's little moments here and there that are woven through this novel where you truly see the great vastness of Ari's father's love for him and his family. And his mother too was also extremely complex and well drawn. Like, these are all very quiet characters. I don't know if I'm doing it justice by saying that, but they're very quiet characters, but they have so much to say in their interactions and how they relate to the world. Ari being a Mexican American as well, he talks about his experiences in that, and through his friendship through Dante, it's just so gorgeous and so lyrical and poetic in the most simplistic way, if that makes sense. I believe the author Benjamin is also an educator and a poet, in addition to being a young adult author, and he may even have adult fiction books as well. But you can see just how extremely exquisite his proses throughout this book. Like, the writing style is just so lovely. I can't say enough good things about this book. And there's so many visceral points that you read in this novel where you truly get inside Ari's head and you just feel the frustration for him just jumping off the pages. And there's so many points where you just want to hug him. And there are points where he just gets so angry that anger just permeates, and I was just so enthralled with it. It was probably one of the quickest reads I've had in a while, and I love books that quickly hook you and engage you and lock you in so quickly. And with contemporary, it's difficult to grab a reader's attention right away sometimes, only because there isn't that world building element in a fantasy novel, for example, when there's all sorts of different cool, powers that are being introduced, magic systems, colorful costumes, etc. It's a lot of contemporaries. It's just getting right down to the base of the human condition and the emotions that we go through everyday life, and the traumas that we deal with, and how we heal from them. And in this book, it just plays into those themes so powerfully. There's a couple of events that really push the narrative forward and really push the action forward that pretty much changes the course of Aristotle's life, and it really deepens the friendship between Ari and Dante. And there's also points in their friendship too that have friction, just like any relationship with any friendships with people. There is going to be moments where you just don't see eye to eye, and there is moments, even though you know that this is building towards this epic romance between these two characters, there's points where Ari gets so in his own head and just so distraught that the anger he actually feels towards Dante is almost startling, and you still are so empathetic to him and his struggle, and even his relationships with his sisters. Ari has twin sisters, and he also has an older brother whose presence in the novel in the beginning is very mysterious, and as you continue to read in the chapters, you learn more and more and more, and then you discover why there's so many secrets within the family, and part of Ari's isolation in his head, and why he has such a difficult time giving out that trust is stemming from a lot of those familiar issues. And then you totally are empathetic with his parents as to why they've kept so much from him, and you really see their point of view as well. Like, for the fact that this book only really is in Ari's head, you get a clearly defined character analysis of all the characters that are woven in the book. Even with Dante's parents, I haven't talked about Dante as much, but even his parents as well, they're so clearly defined. They're also so incredibly warm and compassionate people. And I love the dichotomy between Ari and Dante, where Dante is more of a glass half full, extremely optimistic, just lighthearted and a lot of levity, and at first seems to be a lot more comfortable in his skin until you peel back the layers, versus Ari, who can come off a little volatile at times, very stoic at times as well, and just questioning everything around him and wondering about his identity and how he fits into the grand scheme of things, and can be very pessimistic in his views as well. And then you peel back the layers and you peel back the layers, and you just see how sensitive and introspective he can be. And it just captured the voice of a teenager so well. It captured the apathy teenagers can have as well, but also just the innocence and just the level of maturity that they can have, and the self-possessed moments that they can have, but then also the immaturity as well, and the lashing out, because you're still forming your worldviews and you're still forming your identity, and as a teenager you're forced to have to come to grips to who you are and define yourself, even though that's not really realistic. And it just, oh my goodness, this book was just such an incredibly emotional journey. and I really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of shocked that it took me so long to actually read it, but I can't say enough good things about it. I actually thought my video was going to be a lot more structured, where I would say, you know what, these are the bullet points of what I liked, this is the character analysis of what I liked, and this is my dislikes, and etc, etc. And I don't really have that for this book. There's nothing really I disliked about it, with the exception that I'm sad that it ended, and I could have read another 200 some odd pages from this and still be quite satisfied, because it was just that good. It was just so succinct. The writing style was beautiful in a very simplistic, poetic way. It's just a really wonderful book, and I can see why it's so heavily praised and why it's won so many awards, and why it's still a book that people reference, and why I still see it around so much on like social media channels where people are promoting their books and things like that. I can see why it's still so well beloved. I just can't say enough good things about it. Gorgeous book. If you haven't read it before, I suggest giving it a try. It is such a wonderful emotional journey, and I believe most would really come to appreciate it. All right, that is my review for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.